great song. Some legends only change the course of history once. Our next guest did it twice. He helped kill the bloated carcass called rock music back in the late 70s with the Sex Pistols. But then he topped that months later with his next band, Public Image Limited, a creative monster that pretty much influenced every artist that came afterward. And now we have awesomely awesome news. Public Image Limited recently announcing their first North American tour in 18 years. It kicks off this Tuesday in Los Angeles. So let's talk about it with one of our favorite guests, the lead singer of Public Image Limited, the legendary John Lydon. John, you look very healthy.
Yeah, well, hello, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm doing the best I can.
Yes.
I'm 54 years young, and I'm looking forward to the next half century.
Fantastic. You look tan. You look like you've been working out or something.
No, that's just exhaustion and sweat. I've been howling all afternoon in rehearsal.
All right. Go ahead.
And of course, Jimmy Kimmel last night gave us a brilliant rehearsal opportunity.
Excellent. We don't talk about him here. He's competition. Screw him.
I brought him up.
But before I move on to PIL, because I got a lot of questions. You know, obviously, the manager of the Sex Pistols, the man that you knew many years ago, Malcolm McLaren, passed away today. He was one of a kind, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, he was an all-round entertainer. I will never speak ill of the dead. Mm-hmm. I miss him. Almost immediately I heard. I don't know the circumstances surrounding it, mm-hmm. but the thing I loved with Malcolm is we would argue like cats and dogs almost permanently, and it gave us both like an end of the source of permanent amusement. And although we did argue, but in a fairly intellectual way, fairly consistently, we both knew that we were arguing from the same side of the fence.
Right.
You know, our enemies was always ignorance and intolerance.
Yeah.
And so in that respect, somewhat of a friend has gone. I'm quite sad about that.
So
I don't like death in anybody.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't want to die. I want to stay alive.
I mean, my father died just last year, so all those emotions back up in my head. You know, I am a human being.
Yes. Well, Johnny, I want to talk.
He's leaving family behind.
Yeah.
So you know.
Yeah.
No nasty words from me on that.
You got it. Well, I want to talk to you about PIL. A lot of people know you from the Sex Pistols, but in my opinion, PIL, especially the album's second edition, was in my opinion one of the greatest pieces of art I've ever listened to, and I still listen to it to this day. What made that particular album so special and so different? It was like 1978.
Well, I think to my mind, every single thing Public Image Limited has done is different. Mm-hmm. We're constantly changing, reassessing ourselves, and permanently advancing, which is something that doesn't happen too often in the wonderful world of rock and roll. Mm-hmm. Which, you know, is why my existence is permanently guaranteed, because I'm not going to lay on my laurels.
Yeah. Now
and indeed, while for inspiration, I find the human being and the human species a permanent source of enjoyment. I believe in life.
Yeah. Let's say a young kid has
I'm pro-life and I'm pro-choice, both at the same time.
That's fantastic. No contradiction there. Now, let's say a young kid has never heard of PIL.
I don't expect it on the health care.
Where would you take a kid who's never heard of PIL, who wants to know something about it? Where would you tell them to start? What album would you point them to first?
There's websites there that provide all the information necessary. That's one of the good things about the modern world of technology. But at the same time, there's all the naysayers attached and looped around everything creative. To my mind, if you haven't heard us by now, you never will. And if you're young, well, come see these shows. Come hear these shows. You will realise that you're being conned by all the rest of them a-holes out there. I'm true and I'm honest.
I know.
I am absolutely true. I'm absolutely honest. I've never done anything to steal or rip off anyone or hurt anyone in my entire life. And yet I'm a negative force. That's quite amazing, isn't it?
It is. I think you're a positive force. I want to talk to you about your band. You got great guys in there. You got Lou Edmonds, Bruce Smith, Scott Firth. Scott Firth, who was he in the Spice Girls?
Yes, one of the band members.
Yes.
I mean, that was brilliant. That drew me straight to him. That and the fact that he's played with Stevie Winwood. This is exactly the kind of person I'm always looking for. People that don't have musical prejudices. Well, and yet at the same time put forth and first forward the fact is that he's just a really wonderful person, right? Really easy to get on with. And this is the same with Lou Edmonds and Bruce Smith. We really gel right? Whatever the problems, it's really, really vital and important in a band to have personalities that respect each other. I got one. As you well know, I've got that now in pill, but I've also had that not in pill from time to time.
Right, you had 40. You've had 40 different bandmates, haven't you?
Yeah, over the years, yes. And, you know, quite frankly, 37 of them I don't need.
Well, John, I thank you so much, and I'm going to see you in May when you come out to New York and play at I think it's at Terminal 5, and we're going to be there. And it's always a pleasure having you on the show. All the best, and congratulations on getting PIL. I can't wait to see him. If you need more information about the tour, go to the band's website, pilofficial.com.